She grilling up.
Thank you.
What's for dinner?
America. What's up, everyone? Grab yourselves a plate of bacon, get your beers, because it's time to talk about some goose calling. Or if you're not 21, grab your favorite Pepsi product of choice. But tonight, we're drinking Bud Light. But anyway, let's talk about some goose calling. So I've had a lot of requests for how to start building cadences, how to just start putting stuff together and start getting different note combinations going. And we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. So the main thing to keep in mind is that it's all in repetition. You've got to get that muscle memory going down in your whole system in order for you to really kind of get the grasp of it and start putting notes together. So, for example, let's just break it down note by note. Let's start with one note, add another one on top of it, and just keep doing that until we get a sequence. So let's just start out with a basic cluck. So, all right. Next thing that I'm going to do after that one, let's add another cluck on top of it. So our sequence so far is going to be. All right, and again, I'm just picking a random note to do in that situation. And you kind of get to the point after you've been doing a little while, you'll kind of get a feeling for what note kind of fits where, and kind of what fits to your calling style. So we've got a low cluck followed by a high cluck, and now let's do really quick. It's not quite a rolling double cluck, but it's a double cluck where it's a step up. So ra ra wada, and that's what we're gonna. That's gonna be the next note of our sequence. All right. After that, let's throw a moan in there. So it's gonna be low cluck, high cluck, step up, moan. All right. After that, let's throw on another cluck and followed by a low honk. So this will be our sequence. All right. So once we've got that down, do that 100 times. Just get that one sequence down. And I mean, you could comprise that sequence of anything. It doesn't have to be what we just did there. But learn it, do it a bunch of times over and over again. Because what we're going to do next is we're going to take that and just start manipulating a little bit, trying to get different sounds out of it. And really, all learning speed is getting those sequences you're comfortable with and doing them a bunch until you get really, really fast at them. And that's really how you build speed and how you build some complexity in it and having some tonal variations and everything like that. It's just starting to manipulate different sounds in those sequences. And I mean, you get a bunch of different sequences after a while, after you've been working on it for a long time, and it just, you mix it up and it sounds different. So yeah, start out with one sequence. Once you get that one sequence down, learn it inside and out, do it in your sleep, and then move on, start building on them, start manipulating them, start learning new ones. And after a while, after practicing for so long with it, you're going to have a bunch of different sequences you can do, and that you know so well that you're just going to be able to seamlessly transition through them, and it's going to sound like you're not really making it up on the spot, but it's going to sound a lot better. So this is just some of me doing some speed stuff. I mean, I'll go a little bit slower in there too. I'll have a lot of ups and downs and goose rhythms in there, but it's just to kind of give you an idea of what you're aiming for, and also listen to some of those sequences that I do quite a bit, just so you kind of get the picture of, hey, recognize that like I am doing sequences in there. I'm not making it all up on the spot, but I've got the experience with all of these sequences that I can make it sound a little bit different, and I can use it to my advantage to really sound better. So just take a listen and kind of feel out how to grow that speed. So I'll start slow, get a little bit faster as we go. couple different things in there. I probably screwed up a couple times, but I mean that's the thing. And really, one way you can kind of transition between those sequences when you need to take a breath. I mean, in contests they don't like you doing check geese and everything like that. And what that is where you're clucking and taking a quick breath, and you'll do 3 or 4 of those in a row, and then that's how you're getting a full breath. So you're not breathing one big time like what you normally would. You're breaking a single breath into 3 or 4 breaths. And it takes some time to get to learn, and it's just something you got to play with and kind of get better at. But that's one way to do it. Another way is you're still going to be taking 3 or 4 breaths every time, but just bop, 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 and breathing after each one is the initial way you start with it. Another way, kind of slow your sequence down a bit and kind of lower honk, breath, higher honk, breath, just kind of build into it that way. I did a couple of those in there as well for you to kind of listen to. So rewind it and listen to it again if you need to. I really want to touch on goose rhythms again. And what this is that natural rise and fall of the excitement level of geese when you're actually calling. And let's go back to the sequence that we kind of threw together to start with. And the slower we do it, maybe a little bit more relaxed it's sounding. Look, reference that cluck video that I did to really kind of feel out how to make more content sounds. And we're going to put those content sounds into the sequence we made. On the flip side of that, look at some of the more aggressive sounds that we've learned and then apply those to that same sequence. So let's start out doing more of a content sounding sequence that we just learned. So all right, now on the flip side, let's do the sequence but a little bit more aggressive sounding. And I probably didn't do it exactly how we talked about earlier, but just keep playing with it, and it doesn't have to be exactly the same every time. You get to that certain point where you're comfortable enough with that sequence that you can start manipulating it, and you don't have to do it perfectly every time. I mean, that's one of the sequences I do quite a bit, but so it's so just muscle memory in my head at this point that I can just take it, change it a little bit, and really take it to the really adds extra stuff in there. Add extra notes, add extra aggressive notes, add extra calm notes to help really get what I want. So really that goose rhythm is taking that easier sequence and taking it up to the next level. So making a smooth transition from the calm geese to the aggressive geese. And I'll do one rise like that, and just so you guys can hear what I'm talking about. All right. Hopefully you guys could kind of feel that in there, how we started out calmer, got more aggressive with it. All right. On the flip side of that, you can start out more aggressive once you build up to that aggressive level and bring it back down to a more of a calm level. And that can take some time to learn. I mean, it's not as easy as building up that intensity, but again, just play with it. There's in this instance, there's no sacrifice, or there's no alternative to practice. You're going to have to be honest with yourself and work on it. But I mean, that's how you get better. You got to have that muscle memory. You got to get that feeling. But I know last time I said I was going to work on or have a video on a lot of that low end stuff, and that is coming. We are going to learn on that. But I just had so many people ask, how do I practice? How do I build complexity in my notes? How do I build sequences and get to that level where I am able to do some speed stuff and where I am able to just flow notes together? And that's basically it. Start slow, plan out your notes, and just keep doing it faster. Keep doing it faster and faster and faster and faster and faster until you got it. So yeah, that's it for this time. Subscribe to the channel for that low end stuff to come. that's coming. We're probably going to do a couple videos on that. I want to try to keep these videos around 10 minutes long. I think those 20-minute ones get a little lengthy. But so we're probably going to break that into 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 segments, and we'll just kind of see how that goes, because there is so much to building a low end, and obviously that's my favorite part to do. So we're really going to take our time and do it right, and hopefully you guys will be better for it in the long run. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, like this on Facebook, share it with your buddies, and we'll see you guys next time. See ya.